warning against any rescue attempts by the Danish Navy.
Wipe it on the dirty, dirty floor and let's start the dance.
Psychopathic offenders may be rapists, child molesters, sadists, or any type of sex offender. They may not even be sex offenders, but engage in other forms of criminal or exploitive behavior instead.
The newly released tapes granting an astonishing look at the twisted mind of a serial killer. From Jack the Ripper to John Wayne Gacy, murderers who seem to choose their victims at random both terrify and fascinate us simply because they defy moral logic. It was the disappearance of an 18-year-old Alaskan girl that led police to unravel one such killer.
We began our exploration into the inner workings of the brain along a remote highway in Texas.
Apologize for our earlier coverage of the so-called Madison race riot.
Could arguably have
coming in now indicates the violence is neither racially related nor restricted to the greater Madison area. So it is certain that the seemingly unexpected Madison scenario.
How would the punishment
Even the staff here says they haven't seen anything close to the sheer volume of casualties. Badly injured, we're trying to get in,
Killing that pedophile was the best day of my life.
There's a monster inside me that just woke up the day you caught me in this
With that in mind, welcome to the Slam Chasm.
So bad I've got a worried mind. I'm so lonesome all the time. I feel so bad I've got a worried mind. I'm so lonesome all the time. I left my baby behind on the bayou. I'm so lonesome.
Maybe I should have listened.
Well, folks, it ain't all been rainbows and sunbeams up here on the hillside this past week. There have been some dark and stormy happenings afoot. The first among these was the removal of my right foot by the bad Dr Sarakin for reasons unknown. Ever since he came to me on the Sabbath, I have been walking on my remaining left foot in a very sinister way, and as a result of one leg now being markedly shorter than the other, I feel like I've just been going round and round in circles. Dr. Sarakin assures me the amputation is absolutely necessary and has even allowed me to keep the foot itself. I plan to use the skeletal remains of my podial pal as a conversation centerpiece, and then, here at Chasm headquarters, I will place it on the mantelpiece between the wolf droppings and my 8th wife's pickled spleen. I shall give it a thick coat of clear varnish, except for the tips of the toes, which I shall daub in a vibrant shade of fuchsia. And then, when guests come to the house, as soon as their blindfolds are removed, the first thing they will see is my amputated foot, and they will feel immediately at their ease. So take a load off your feet, or else take your feet off entirely. Take a few steps back, and return them to their rightful owner. Take a limp over to the volume modulator, and be sure not to give it a limp handshake. You are in the slam chasm now.
I have an accident on the Jersey Turnpike.
Thereby goes some of the construction debris into the hole. So.
All right. When did you discover this hole?
Well, the hole has always been there. We've been out there for a couple of years now, and the hole has been there since we've been there. It's been there since the previous owner was there, and the previous owner there was quite elderly, and I'd say he was there for a good 30, 40 years before we moved in.
Wow.
And then
and so there's been a thing of throwing stuff down this hole for a long
it's been going on, for as long as the hole has been there, I assume.
When nobody knows that, I guess.
Of course, it's Oscar season, isn't it? It's not just Oscar season. Oscars have been and gone.
Yeah,
They've happened. I mean, what a night.
It's actually no longer Oscar season.
What a night of glitz and glamour.
The night did occur.
The red carpet,
the blue
stars
one inside.
Yeah. I mean, it was so many surprises, so many surprise winners, but you know what? I think all the best people won, didn't they? I mean, who was your favourite?
I was particularly surprised to see Leslie Grantham picking up the Best Supporting Actor piece for his role in Great Expectations, Mrs. Havisham. I thought he was fantastic. The Oscars love cross-dressing, as we know, and it's been a while since they've gone for the old cross-dress vote, but Leslie went home very pleased, so I was pleased for him. What about you, Adam?
Well, I liked Julianne Moore in Forgetful Nurse. I think that's a good solid victory. Everyone was rooting for her. She really brought that dithering and forgetfulness you want from her.
Quite right. Commiserations, of course, though, to Marianne Courtois, who went home with nothing after her fantastic performance in Factory Worker.
I mean, that was something of a surprise, but she's a big girl. She's a big French girl, and I think she's got the croissants to prove it, and she won't mind. She won't mind that she went away empty-handed.
Preparing for emergencies. What you need to know.
www.preparingforemergencies.gov.uk.
Preparing for emergencies. The contents of this programme are a threat to life.
The Emergency Planning Society believes that this programme and the printed booklet provides valuable and common sense advice for the public. Danger can only be a good thing.
General advice about what to do in an emergency. If you find yourself in the middle of an emergency, your common sense and instincts will not tell you what to do.
I will automatically switch on. That comment from Debbie Spargo, Chief Executive of the Cling Film and Tight Clothing Society. If there is a fire, call 999 and ask for an unconscious doctor.
If you are not involved in an incident, remember to attend to your sizable cock before attempting to help others. Do not help others. Do not help others.
Helping terrorist attack MI5. Terrorists need to live. They need links to useful information and advice. Terrorists need
car keys, toiletries, children, fresh air, and a list of vulnerable Vietnamese blankets.
Terrorists need battery-powered police stoppers. They need bombs. A wide range of bombs. Many bombs. Terrorists need a suspicious chemical, biological, or radiological powered radio. Suspicious eyes and ears. A suspicious case of gas. A suspicious
emergency. Remain calm. Emergency.
Think about it.
Danger.
Think about it.
Danger.
Think about it.
Danger.
Think about it.
Try to believe you may be in danger. In most cases, the advice is go inside others. Stay inside until you are advised how to turn off your children and fire the police if there is a fire. Go in, stay in,
burn.
Well, folks, I have tied my severed soul with its Gothic fallen arches and its unhealed Achilles heel to a rock on the bed of the creek behind the house, its tendons like tendrils of water weeds splayed in the current. As I speak, electric eels are sucking its toes and stripping the flesh from its metatarsals. Speaking of assholes, Dr. Sarakin sure is a strange fish. He doesn't have much of a bedside manner, more of a bedside hammer. His idea of palliative care is a sharp blow to the head, washed down with a broken bottle of cheap scotch. He may not be competent, qualified, or sane, but he's the only doctor this town has. This isn't the first time he's done some breaking and entering in order to conduct some late-night medical malpractice. Just last month, he caused a panic in the shady Irish old folks' home when he unlawfully entered an octogenarian and attempted to replace her hip with the tow bar of a 1978 Dodge pickup truck. And the week before that, he performed unauthorized sex changes on a few of the hobos down by the boxcars. Bifurcated penises, scooped wombs, and hormone injections abound down on the wrong side of the tracks. In fact, I've had more than a few 5-day gender benders myself. This one goes out to all you involuntary homeless boxcar transsexuals out there.
The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey, obvious. The beauty in the ass in the odyssey.
Christmas Day with Peter Blackhead. It was getting late, and I knew Mother would be getting hungry, and Amy from the agency was beginning to overspill her welcome. Luckily, though, it was mostly trickling down the grooves I had shaved into the floor and down towards Mother's topside pipeline gape. Mother's topside pipeline gape. Oh, that will keep her going while I tidy up these bits and people, mused me. I thanked Amy from the agency for her thumbs-up company and popped a chop or two of her into a doggy bag that she could take home very later. Mother, I've finished with Christmas up here, so you don't get any more light after this, I'm afraid, I said, dribbling some of Amy from the agency down the flume. Night, night, Mother, I screamed into her hole. 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 I screamed into her.
Look out for the diamond signs. They all mean danger.
I mean, the question that we come back to time and time again is, what would Christopher Hitchens do?
Celebrity exclusives. World exclusive. World exclusive. Celebrity exclusives.
Yeah, the Prime Minister's wife's baby is part of a trade with Max Clifford.
World exclusive. Celebrity exclusives.
She was a sacrificial offering.
The most controversial interview ever.
She'd been turned over, in my view, pants down, so to speak, and I sincerely hope that she will, get on top facially.
Max Clifford, how are you?
I'm very well, Alex, and you?
Yeah, I'm really good, but you haven't got anything on.
Cheeky real-life confessions.
I've got something juicy. You don't want it to go in. You have to offer me something better to keep it out.
Well, that's true.
World exclusive. World exclusive.
There's been plenty of people that I've protected. Gary Glitter, Jonathan King, Michael Jackson, all the Nazi stuff.
Can love bridge the age gap?
Richard.
And how have you managed to make it to the top? I mean, you're so synonymous with rape and paedophilia. You're the king of it in London.
It's hilarious and it's all true.
How do you fit with that?
When it did really get going and get established in the 70s and 80s.
Or the scandal you love.
I was kind of at the heart of it from the start. So it's one of the few games that men and women can play together.
Do you sit down and warn these ladies?
No.
Do you have any guilt whatsoever?
No, I've spent many years working with paedophiles all over the country, a lot of them totally anonymous.
Celebrity exclusives. World exclusive.
And I can only say from everything that I ever saw and experienced that the young girls were extremely anxious.
World exclusive. Celebrity exclusives.
Now, during the time you were with Max kept a black bin bag. Tell me what was in that.
It was a bag full of women. Some of them had faces, but a lot of them didn't.
Cheeky real-life confessions.
Facially.
Why you?
Right time, right place.
Congratulations on being you. And have you been touched up recently?
No, unfortunately, but I'm hoping. youngsters, facially. You don't actually sit there and ask for birth certificates. Youngsters, facially. I played a small part in bringing Gary Glitter out in his full glory. Youngsters, facially. And it's PR consultant.
Public relations consultant.
Max Clifford.
If you don't mind.
Folks, the details behind Dr. Sarakin's arrival in the town are both confused and confusing, as are many of the so-called facts relating to the events that occur in the slant chasm. Some say he walked straight off the gangplank of an ocean-going steamship, having worked his way up from cabin boy to ship's surgeon. But since the town is landlocked with several tens of thousands of miles on all sides, I find that difficult to believe. Others say the doctor is not a doctor at all, his only certification being a blood-soaked dishonorable discharge from an abattoir in western Siberia. I myself think the doctor is nothing more than a persistent sexual sadist who has found a perfect cover for his nocturnal depravities. And that's precisely why he is one of my very oldest and dearest friends. This next one goes out to Dr. Sarakin and his over-enthusiastic hacksaw.
Love is the rainbow. Love is the rainbow. Love is the rainbow.
Yeah, it was power and control. I was grooming her from the age of, it started about the age of when I was the punisher. I was the one who decided punishment over the children. I was the one who spanked the children. I was the one who punished the children. And if I seen the children doing anything wrong, even bickering and arguing amongst themselves, I would whip them and tell them, you know, just kids playing. I would tell myself, well, she's not going to be like that. She's going to be the perfect mate. And I told myself that. And I didn't molest her then. The perfect mate. I was grooming her to fit me. To fit me.
Trash, rubbish, anything we have that we have to get rid of, we take it, throw it in the hole. Everyone's throwing their stuff in the hole. The people from around there throw all the stuff in the hole. I mean, it's just been going on for a long time. Well, I got this thinking one day, how come this hole is not filling up? It must be an awfully deep hole. I used to be I would say pretty close to a professional shark fisherman, so I had a couple of huge fishing reels, went out there and started letting the line down. I figure after one...
Did you weight the line?
Oh, yeah. There's in fact, the original line is still down there. I have just been adding to the line and keeping track of how much line I have used.
Have you ever heard anything coming from any sounds or anything?
Well, I mean, the normal thing to do is kind of like yell into it there, to see an echo, and I've never heard an echo come out of that thing.
No echo.
At all. That's one of the first things I noticed about it. As usual, I brought the dogs with me. They wouldn't go anywhere near the damn thing, and I went back to the Suburban and hung out over there. So it was kind of if I try to bring them there on a leash, they'll just dig their feet in. They do not want to go anywhere near the hole. And so that's, I don't know. It's just,
well, you've got miles and miles of.
I think. Well, I'm measuring it by feet. I convert feet to yards, so I don't know how many miles that is. I assume that it's a fair number of miles, though.
Well, 5,280 feet is a mile, so you really think you've got 80,000?
Yes, yeah, I get line 5,000 yard spools. And so I've gone through that many.
Well, you have got a hole then that goes, well, you know, you can't say to the center of the earth, but you've got a hole that goes miles and miles and miles into the earth. I would think a university would be out there, boom, just like that.
The hacking continues, and the whole other glut of intimate celebrity photos, you know, is a wash of the online world. I mean, you've got the likes of, you know, sexy, revealing poses from the likes of, you know, Alfred Molina, Brendan Gleeson, you know, sort of bending over, looking over the shoulder type shots. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I mean, the Brendan Gleeson ones, I have to say, I did quite enjoy them. There was a particular one where he was perched on a bathroom stool, you know, leaning forward, gently pushing his chest together and doing a crossword on the floor. And I mean,
I never thought I'd see Brian Cox, you know, in the buff, just with a small cat on his lap, smiling wryly.
And that cat was tiny as well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do wonders for his credentials in the trouser department.
Although I suppose as a metaphor, it's quite apt since he's got some female sensibilities, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. No, I mean, he. I imagine he has a very large penis.
Yeah, you can imagine it, but he doesn't.
Really?
It barely gets covered by a small cat.
Okay.
Well, folks, I'm absolutely stumped. My severed foot has disappeared from the creek. At first I thought the rope with which I had secured it to its igneous anchor had been cut by one of the ichthyoid ankle biters down there. That perhaps one of the lobster children had snapped through it with a humanoid claw. But then I noticed to my horror a trail of damp footprints. The damp footprints of a single right foot, leading away from the bank and into the woods on the other side of the creek. It would seem the foot has become sentient, or at least zombified. Perhaps one of the electric eels has served as a primitive Victor Frankenstein and brought my old appendage back to life with a jolt of juice. Or perhaps the reason lies further from the jejune realms of science, and those stories of black magic and juju being practiced upstream by the hillside's wise woman, Mother Mishima, were true after all. But whatever it is, I mean to put my foot down. A foot on its own could get into all kinds of trouble in the slam chasm if it doesn't toe the line. This little piggy needs to come wee all the way home, and I, for one, am not going to stand still until it does. That's not just because I've only got one foot, although that is a big part of it. So, I'm going to have to put a sock on it now, folks, and hop off. Until next time, you keep your doors locked at night unless you want Dr. Sarakin to pay you a visit. Keep a saline drip beside your bed in case he does, and keep your ECG monitor firmly in sync with the slam chasm.